On today's episode of I Grew Up in an Actual Dictatorship, so you know you're not in one, I give you details on how the government controls the cows that a farmer owns and what they have to do if they ever want to try steak. Introducing to you guys, Carlos Becerra. He is a Cuban farmer who had a farm in Camagüey, Cuba, and had around 30 cows. He went over how the government controls each cow that he has, what they do, and how much product they get from these cows. When a calf is born, you have to inscribe it and get a birth certificate for it. Literally, you have to get a birth certificate for every cow that you have. The government then marks it, and twice a month, they start doing inspections on this cow, drawing bloods, for two reasons. One of them, if the cow is sick or the calf is sick, they'll simply take it and eat it. Or if the cow is pregnant, now they know that you're about to have more calves, and they know in the time that it's going to take you for you to take them to inscribe the new cow and get a new certificate. Every year, he had around 900 pounds of meat that he had to turn in. This always looked in the shape of 3 young calves, 7 to 8 months, 1 cow, and a bull. However, if one of those cows got sick and now he's short, let's say he can only turn in 700 pounds because the government took a sick cow, he's now responsible for compensating the government for being 200 or 300 pounds, even though he had nothing to do with the cow getting sick and they themselves took the cow and ate it. How much of the product do you get to keep? Well, of the meat, you get to keep none. But of the milk and the cheese, you do get to keep 1 liter of milk per day and around 2 pounds of cheese per week. Keep in mind that he was producing around 70 to 80 liters of milk per day. This was obviously not enough for him to survive, so he had to go out to the streets and sell his products so he could get money for them. However, there was a caveat to that. He could only sell it on his city, and he lived in a farm. He didn't have a lot of neighbors. But if he were to get out of the city, he would get decommissioned everything he owned by the cops, and the cops would simply take his products away. If he ever wanted to eat steak, he had to take a great risk. He had to pretend that one of the cows died and simply hide it in one of his farm locations. To lie and say that when the cow gave birth, one of the calves didn't survive. This came at a great risk, because in Cuba, eating your own cow, taking more than 1 liter a day or more than 2 pounds of cheese a week could land you in jail for around 30 years. Keep in mind that people in Cuba go to jail for killing somebody else around 5 years. So that lets you know how the government literally thinks of its people like less than cattle. To add insult to injury, the government is supposed to provide the food for the cows. However, he said that for as long as he owned that farm, not once he received help from the government. This example is quite literally the epitome and culmination of the prophecy: if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Please, America, listen to me. I did not escape Cuba only to bring Cuba with me. Socialism and communism cannot bring any good news to our amazing nations. For this and many more reasons is why I tell you, America is not a dictatorship at all.